this whole area. Well, I know this area well, of course, having grown up here.
Sure,
But you've never lived anywhere else. You've always lived here.
I've lived all my life.
Ah, okay.
And I've seen all the changes.
Well, I know that there's a lot of history around here. A lot of great looking buildings, including you live in one of the cottages here. There's about
cottages.
15 cottages. I don't know how many there are, but these Bellevue,
14.
right? And you reckon they're about 80, 90 years old, something like that?
Yeah, the old ones, and then there's several new people have moved in, and the old families have left the village.
But would they have been built as council houses originally?
Council houses,
right?
council.
Beautiful looking cottages, of course.
Yeah, well, it goes back to when De Valera first brought in council houses. You were given a piggery and big land. It was called self-sufficient.
Right.
The people of Ireland were self-sufficient.
Well, it must have been the first and only kind of really, council housing in this area, because you consider Delgany now is a sort of dorky thing, and it's very expensive to live or move here.
Money has crawled down the east coast, all right, from Dublin.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, in those days,
but they're unique, I think. Just to have those lovely little.
People had their own pumps. They had to go and collect their own water.
I did that myself. Yeah,
yes,
that was Blackberry Lane. Yeah,
we're talking about the 50s now.
Even though I'm only in my 20s, I still remember that.
Yeah.
It's mad, isn't it? I have a great memory. Yeah.
But the changes around Delgany, and they're not for the good.
Some are, but most can often be a bit of a.
The whole thing about Delgany now is dependency on the car.
Right.
Where years ago people would walk up from the village after getting a thing called the bus.
The what?
A bus. It was a thing with big wheels on it.
Holy moly!
It'd bring you to Bray.
Like trucks for bringing goods to your house, that sort of thing. Amazon kind of thing. That sort of thing.
Yes,
holy moly! Yes. I don't believe that.
And they'd go shopping, and actually they used to talk to one another.
What?
They used to have conversations.
Like mad people.
Well, no, I think it's, we won't talk about.
I do hope that people.
We won't talk about Dollar.
Greystones now they do still. That's one thing I've noticed now, that people do still say hello. When you meet somebody new from another country, especially, they're always taken aback by the fact that I think we still do say hello.
There's a little bit of it.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of that's human contact.
Right.
The human.
But just walking around and meeting people on the seafront or anywhere, you just sort of say hello, unless it's they're busy with their phones or their children or.
Correct.
Whatever they're doing,
instead of
drinking their beer.
The norm now when you're walking through a street or something, and it's either visually, or if you did say hello, they're waiting for then to react, either jump.
Yeah.
So electronics and the new wave system is caught up on people now. Dependency for information.
Well, I think every action has a reaction. I think people are growing up now aware, especially if they've got teenagers, and they kind of are sorely aware of that disconnect, and they're trying, I would hope, in most cases, to sort of make them reconnect. Refusing to let them use their phones at certain times.
Normality, I call it.
Yeah. And that sort of sense that the best 3D is real life. People have such a huge. Great kind of array of home entertainment and also on their phones, so they switch off from people around them.
What I find now is they're overlapping, Paul.
All right.
They're overlapping. Like you'll come in and did I do that? Blink! The micro. I recording.
A lot of distractions. Yeah.
I'm recording from yesterday, Mary.
Sure.
It's on. But
time
I'm watching
starts
this
to get a
now.
bit precious.
Well, recorded now, but I'm watching the thing I recorded yesterday. But don't bother about that.
We're all doing the time warp again and again and again.
Exactly. And it's seeking into the psychic of the human.
Yeah. No, definitely. There's a worrying kind of trend
overlap.
And we also don't concentrate on the now the way we used to. Even the good old Google has robbed us of our muscle to go and try and remember things. We kind of quickly check it out. Now, we should mention, talking about time warp, we're right here at the entrance.
Bellevue.
That isn't your TARDIS, by the way, is it?
No, that was Superman's phone box.
Ah, okay.
Irish,
phone box.
As you can see, it's green.
But behind that wonderful big lump of a building is another gateway into the Greystones. Oh, here we go. There's somebody here saying hello. Yes. How are you, kids? All right?
We don't want any carpets today, thank you. I thought you were the travellers. What?
See you later, man. But yeah, we're at one of the what turns out to be, you said 5 or 6 different gateways. It's the Delgany Golf Club behind us here. Beautiful spot. I'll let people see now what we're talking about, because it is a beautiful golf course. My dad. Oh, we can't see there. There you can see beyond those bushes.
Yeah, put down.
Hold on. I'll just go do a little tour over here so people can see this gorgeous little bit of land. But yeah, my dad worked there for the last 20 years. Oh yeah, we're recording now because it's I never remember all this stuff.
As I say, the Latouche family came in the 17th century.
Right. And this would be Bellevue House, which is an outrageously big, beautiful
up in Bellevue
estate.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it had 5 entrances.
Right.
And at the top, up 100 yards outside the village, you'll meet up Bellevue Hill.
The main
first
entrance
gate.
to the...
No, that was the first gate.
All right.
The main entrance was over the glen.
Yes. There was now the golf club entrance.
Each side of it had a gate lodge.
Right.
Where there was 2 families, the Bournes
Hey!
and the McLaughlins.
I hope I'm related to them now. I wouldn't mind a bit of... Make a claim. Make a claim.
Yeah.
And the lines, of course, the lines are up on that, which was one of the early kind of examples of the lines are still there up on the pillars.
It was a symbolism of power.
Yes.
It goes back to about the 8th or 9th, 10th century.
Right.
When families in Europe and the world, the lion is a powerful symbolism.
Sure.
And Britain as a country and as a power still use the lion as a symbolism of power.
I'm trying to have him replaced by statues of Max here, but I don't know if Max is up for it yet. Are you up for that, Max?
He might be all right? Rough, yeah.
Oi, Wally. You all right? Good lad.
But as I say, things have changed rapidly.
Yeah.
But Delgany Golf Course itself was full of old trees.
And how did that start?
And it was full of deer.
Oh, deer. Oh,
where
lovely.
People hunted.
And now it's just deer.
And now it's just deer to get into as being a member of the golf course.
Oh man, we've got a comic double act coming up here. I can feel it.
Stop the lights.
But you were saying there was a bunch of guys from Greystones who began the Delgany Golf Club.
6 businessmen back in the turn of the century,
right.
The late 18th century,
okay,
who were refused to play golf in Greystones golf course. Hello.
On a Sunday.
All right.
Hello, ma'am. How are you?
How are you?
Good.
Lovely day.
Yeah.
For Ireland, this is a good day, yeah.
But it was, I forget their names now, but
right.
I think it was Robinson, and then there was another...
Well, I can find out if I can. I'll have a look and see if I can find
the people who make
names.
the windows. What's their name?
Well, the Archers are...
Archers.
Oh, right, okay.
The names is on the
they
driver.
were very active. They got involved with the start of the rugby club down in Greystones too. I mean, there's a great kind of tradition, I think, of certain families recognising, the need for certain cultural, meeting places and certainly, things like sports are always a good idea.
But the church in Greystones at the time, Greystones was the first golf course.
Right.
But Greystones refused these people. You couldn't play sport of a Sunday.
Okay.
By the local vicar and the Catholic Church.
Right.
So the businessmen...
You surprised me about the Catholic Church now. They're usually quite lenient and easygoing.
Well, you think
that's
about
surprising.
it, no,
yeah, that's
they must have took the example. There was no sport being played.
Right.
So, and as businessmen and people who worked, the only chance they'd have was to play golf of the weekend. So they couldn't do it. So they arrived up in Bellevue House, the main manor, where they had little meetings. So they started to knock down little trees and make their own little golf course, which was the beginning of Delgany Golf Course. So that was to start off. And Delgany area, the area of the course itself was full of old trees and where Latouches hunted, mostly deer.
Right.
They hunted deer and then they go across to the Glen of the Downs, across the old road and lanes to the Glen of the Downs to hunt. So it was full of deer.
I was...
how are you?
Oh, yes, all right. How's it going? I was sick today. We did local history in school, so I'm trying to remember, or I should know, when exactly, the Latouche and that beautiful big kind of house wasn't...
17th century.
But wasn't that there anymore, that they became
1950s.
vacant? Okay.
1950s.
That's late enough.
A fella called... he was from Bray and he took the lead off. And my mother played in it as a young girl.
Wow.
She played up there.
I'll have to go up to the ruins now and do a piece on it, because it's amazing to see.
Yeah,
it's still there.
You'd ask what you call him who was up there.
I know Yasmin Fortune's father is connected to it and all that. Yes. But that idea then that this golf course is really for pagans and the unholy, which has sort of remained a tradition, I think, hasn't it?
Well, it's such a small village and diverse village over the years, and Ireland in general. You have Protestants and you have Catholics and you have all this debating one another. He owns this and I own that.
Aye.
That's what happened there.
But we all love each other now, don't we?
We're coming to that. But the cows now and the sheep are all Muslims, and that could be the name.
That's going to be tough now, especially. Well, I suppose they really do want
I
to
heard
sort
a
of
cow the
protect.
other day going, Allah.
You're nothing if not topical, Shay. You're nothing if not topical. Obviously stoned as well, but topical.
A fucking cow Muslim. And Muslim cow, I said to myself,
Beautiful.
oh no. And
So-
then
Yeah.
and then I was going by a field one day and I seen a heap and the sheep went, Nama. Nama.
Holy moly.
So they were affected by Nama. So you can't win, you know. But as I say, things have changed. The
Right.
golf course and the history of Delgany, amazing. And the Bradshaw, my grandfather started as the pro,
Right.
and he done the links, he done the courses and the greens, worked on it.
Yeah.
And he also won, and then his four sons became professional. And Harry went on to win the World Cup.
Well, no, I'm going to stop
Ryder
you there
Cup.
because I reckon I'm going to try and meet you every Friday here. We'll do a little, we'll meet up. But next week, if you have a think about Harry, because Harry fascinates me. I've mentioned him before on the guide, but we haven't really done a proper, you know,
Say
kind
he
of
was
a.
in the White House and what?
Yes, that's right. He's done amazing
49,
stuff.
40, yeah.
So we'll save that for next week. And will you be around next Friday? Do you think?
Yeah, I can't
Beautiful.
say for definite now.
Well, I think. I mean,
But it's
talk to your
supposed to-
probation officer now. Would you be allowed? You're allowed out on Fridays, aren't you? Depends
he
on
is,
behaviour.
yeah. He is, yeah.
Well,
He
we'll
is,
keep
yeah.
in touch, and hopefully it'll be Friday, if not Saturday or Sunday. But just, I'd love to talk about Harry, and we'll have a think.
Every town and village in Ireland has great history.
Sure.
Every town and village.
Except
has
Newtown Mount Kennedy.
Well, Newtown Mount Kennedy is the longest name in the Republic, isn't it? As
That's
a
really
town.
about it, though, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it was.
Grace Shanley works there. That's another kind of. That's the only two claims to fame. It's very long
Yeah.
in the spelling, and Grace Shanley works there. I think that's not really going to fit on many tourist kind of brochures, though. As a
Well, the thing is, you see, everyone in Newtown was called Ben. How are you, Ben? How's it going, Ben?
that probably is the confusion. See, nobody
Very
could find each other when they could. When suddenly
Well,
somebody
yeah,
needs to find Dr. Ben, nobody
Yeah,
could
they
find
never
him. And
changed anyone. Everyone's name was Ben. How are you going, Ben? Lovely day, Ben.
So yes.
that,
we better be careful because Newtown, they're lovely
fucking
people.
kill us,
and-
yeah, don't put
and
that
they're,
on
They're
the-
quite strong as well. I've noticed that
yeah,
they can
good
be,
people.
they're
Great. They're
people.
great into the
Great
Gaelic.
people.
They're good
Yeah.
GAA
That's it.
over the years.
So next week, if you ever think about Harry Bradshaw, and we'll hit upon one or two other parts of the local history, because Delgany, I grew up here, I love the place. It's still
Yeah.
very beautiful in its centre. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's a little bit too popular for its own good now because
It's overloaded.
it's
I
turning
tell
into
you,
a theme village, which is dangerous.
Delgany village is like a heart.
Right.
And in the heart, you have veins and tubes going.
Is that
to it.
arthritis, or are you showing me something?
No,
I thought it was arthritis.
It's a symbolism.
Oh, okay, there you go.
It's a symbolism of, and in the heart, a village has little power.
Are you sure that's not a breast you're thinking about there? It is the heart.
well,
Okay,
yeah, the
okay. I
heart-
just
the
wasn't
heart-
sure. Okay.
A heart has tubes and veins going to it to keep the body going, and
Are
sometimes.
you a doctor?
And
I always-
sometimes it's overloaded now.
Right.
And it's over with buildings, and the main reason
Getting
is
clogged up. That's what it is.
it's clogged
Blood
up,
clots.
and the main reason is that everyone is dependent on the car,
Right.
the movement of their body from A to B. Years ago, people walked through the village. They got a bus from the village. They met one
I'm
another.
definitely going to look up this bus idea. I'm fascinated by the bus. I must
Yeah,
check
but
that out.
everything now, and the debate now, you have tidy towns, you have residents' committees, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And the whole principle of meetings and analysing and discussion at the meetings is a simple thing. They're not worried about individual, it's the car.
Right.
The movement
Well,
of
I would
car.
argue the car is one, well, obviously a
If you
problem
know what I
in that
mean,
you're not being
Paul.
healthy. But I think
You're
as
mother
a
and father
town, though,
never-
I think developers might have more of a might be more of a worry than the motor vehicle.
Yes, but
Because,
that's what I say. But as I say,
it is a popular girl at the party. Everyone's hitting on her
yeah,
right
but
now.
you're putting pressure on. You're putting pressure on
The heart.
you're putting pressure on ESB,
the pretty girl.
on pressure on water.
Too many fat lads
No, but
pushing on the pure, beautiful little girl who just
people
can't
are
take
got more deeper, Paul. They got more. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's no realism left.
Yeah.
Realism, which means to say, "Hello, Mrs. Kelly, how are you keeping?" Which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
strange when you communicate normally
This
with
kind
people.
of bookends us because I do believe now it's still, for me now it still exists, and I hope it always does. I
Yes,
do think it's still there. And
Ireland
it's just a case
always
of,
had. The Irish
Yeah,
people were
yeah.
always kind of saying, "How a lovely day, isn't it? How are you keeping?"
and there wouldn't be anybody there, which is lovely. I think that's the
Yeah.
great thing about the Irish. They could be on their own, they shout that, which is
Yes,
nice.
they're surviving this because they're people, they're island people.
That's
and
it,
they had
that's
it
it.
rough mentally and physically.
Ah, yeah,
There's
we're
a genetic
troopers.
cell in them
Yeah.
to survive.
So have a think about now the beautiful Harry Bradshaw. If there's anything else you want to talk about, there's lots of odd little bits of
sure, James,
Delgany
no.
history, but you can just have a
This
think.
house was built in the 50s.
All right.
And it was built for £5,000 by a man called Mr. Hutchison.
Oh yeah, good old
Hutchison.
The sons,
And as you can see,
Lester and
the
Leo.
entrance of the gate is right on the corner.
Boom.
Which nowadays wouldn't be allowed because that was the way the cow and the sheep went into the field.
Well, it's a bit of game of death, isn't it? You just see what you can survive.
Jesus,
so I shall see you next week, young Shay, and
thanks,
try and tidy yourself up. Wear a suit and tie, maybe. Look presentable. There's people watching.
Oh.